Have you ever played Yakuza and seen this game? Or have you been to the Gold Saucer in Final Fantasy XIV and wondered, what is this? Or are you just interested because it seems like all your friends are playing it? Hi, my name is Kusalite, and in this video, you're going to learn all about Riichi Mahjong. What is it, how to play, and how to win, so you can have fun with your friends or just complete your Yakuza achievements. Let's begin! What is Mahjong? Mahjong is a tile-based game with Chinese origins and can be played multiplayer or solo. Today we're going to focus on the Japanese multiplayer version known as Riichi Mahjong. If you've played other styles of Mahjong before, then Riichi Mahjong should be easy to learn. But why play Mahjong? I consider myself a gamer, and I see Riichi Mahjong as a gamer's game. It has a mix of luck, skill, and strategy. Like a card battle roguelike, it's addicting. There's also interaction between players, which creates hyper funny gotcha moments. With so many things to learn in Mahjong, not every game will feel the same, which adds variety and longevity. In the end, it's just fun and I love it, and I hope you will too. Now, how do we play Mahjong? For Mahjong, the ultimate goal is to create a 14-tile hand that consists of 4 sets and a pair, while also satisfying a winning condition known as Yaku. Each player starts the game with 13 tiles. Players take turns drawing and discarding tiles to build their hands. A turn follows these steps. You draw a tile, check for a win, discard a tile, pass to the next player. That's Mahjong at its most basic. To keep this guide short, I'm going to explain things as concise and clear as possible. But if you need more in-depth explanations on anything discussed today, please ask in the comments and I will be happy to help out. Tiles. Similar to a deck of cards, in Riichi Mahjong, there are 34 unique tiles, 4 copies of each for a total of 136 tiles. That makes up the wall of tiles. Let's go over them. The tiles are separated into 2 major groups, suited tiles and honor tiles. What's common between all suited tiles is that they are numbered from 1 through 9. 1s and 9s are known as terminal tiles. 2 through 8 are known as simple tiles. With suited tiles, we have 3 suits, Manzu, Sozu, Pinzu. Here is the Manzu suit. These are the hardest to identify if you're not familiar with Chinese or Japanese numbering systems, but you can pull up this video for reference material or refer to the cheat sheet linked in the description below. The next set we have Sozu, which looks like bamboo or sticks. The number of sticks represents the value. The one of bamboo looks a bit confusing, but it's a peacock instead of a singular bamboo stick. And finally, of the suited tiles we have Pinzu, which looks like dots or circles. Just like bamboo, the number of dots represents its value. On top of this, one of the 5s in each of the suits will be red. We'll just make note that these are Dora tiles. We'll get into that one later. Next up we have the honor tiles. There are 2 kinds of honor tiles, winds and dragons. Here are the winds. We have east, south, west, north. Then we have dragons, green, red, white. And those are the tiles of Riichi Mahjong. Let's do a mini review. 34 unique tiles, 4 copies of each, 3 numeric suits, 4 winds, and 3 dragons. A winning hand. A winning hand is 14 tiles that are made of 4 sets and a pair, along with the Yaku. A set is a 3-tile shape that is either a triplet or a sequence. A sequence is a set of consecutive tiles, like 1, 2, 3. A sequence can only be made with suited tiles of the same suit, and the numbers do not loop. 456 Pinzu is a valid sequence. 912 is not a valid sequence. Then we have triplets, which is just 3 of the same tile. Any tile can be used for triplets. For example, we have a triplet of Sozus, a triplet of North Winds, a triplet of Green Dragons. And as for the pair, it just means 2 copies of a tile. We can use any combination of triplets or sequences in our hand as long as we get them as separate sets. The other key component to a winning hand is the Yaku. Yaku is a specific pattern of tiles that need to be present in your winning hand in order to call a win. Today we are going to focus on the 5 most widely used Yaku: Riichi, Yaku Hai, Tanyao, Toi Toi, Honitsu. I'm going to mention points, betting, closed, and open hands, but we'll go over those later. Riichi, a closed hand with any 4 sets in a pair, but when you're 1 away from winning, you must declare Riichi and place a 1,000 point bet. Calling Riichi is like calling Uno. Yaku Hai, a winning hand including at least 1 triplet of dragons, a triplet of receipt wind, or a triplet of the round wind. I will explain what the seated and round winds are in the next section. Tanyao, also known as all simples, The hand only consists of simple tiles, only tiles numbered 2 through 8. Toi Toi, all triplets. Honitsu, also known as half flush. Your hand only consists of 1 suit and honors. For example, we have 3 sets of Sozu tiles, a triplet of the North Wind, and a pair of green dragons. It may seem hard to memorize all the Yakus at first, but just like poker hands, you get better at it the more you play. Game flow. Next, I'll give an overview of how a typical game of Mahjong plays out. At the start of the game, 4 players get seeded based off of a wind that was drawn randomly. The players who drew the east wind starts off as a dealer. The winds shift counterclockwise when a round ends. Whoever then gets east is dealer for that round. The round starts when players are dealt their 13 tiles and the dealer starts their first draw. Dealer discards, and then players in a counterclockwise order start drawing and discarding tiles until either someone declares a winning hand or the final tile has been discarded. At the end of each round, points are scored and distributed, the board is shuffled, the winds shift, and a new hand is dealt. Then players begin the next round. The game ends when everyone has been dealer at least once in an east round game, but everyone will need to be a dealer twice for a south round game to end. The round wind, also known as the prevalent wind, always starts as east. The round wind will change to south when the first dealer becomes a dealer a second time. Your seat wind is based off the position of the compass. Knowing what the round and seat winds are, you can now identify your Yaku high tiles. Next, let's talk about gameplay mechanics. Winning terms, stealing tiles, the dead wall, the Dora Indicator. Winning terms. Tenpai, which just means being 1 tile away from winning. Let's say we have a triplet of red dragons, a triplet of 8 Sozu, a sequence of Pinzu, and an east wind pair, and our last 2 tiles are a 7 and 8 Manzu. Since we are only waiting for 1 tile to win, a 6 or a 9 Manzu, we are in Tenpai. While you are in Tenpai and you draw your winning tile, you'd say Sumo. If someone discards your winning tile, you'd say Run. Stealing tiles. As you play the game, there will be moments where you need to steal a tile to complete one of your sets. Let's go over how that works. When a player discards a tile you need to complete one of your sets, you must first make the correct call, reveal your set, steal the tile, then discard back down to 13 tiles. The stolen set remains revealed, with the stolen tile turned sideways to indicate the player you stole it from. If you stole from the player to your left, the stolen tile would be on the left side. A stolen set is unable to be modified for the rest of the round. Revealing sets makes your hand an open hand, which removes the possibility of achieving certain Yaku, like Riichi. Closed hand just means no stealing. Let's go over making the correct calls. Chii. When stealing a tile to complete a sequence, you would call
Chii.
You can only Chii from the player to your left. There are restrictions to Chii.
Chii.
When you Chii a tile for an already completed set, you must discard a tile from an unrelated set. If you have a 5, 6, 7,
Chii.
and you Chii a 4, you cannot discard the 7 that was part of the original set for that turn. Pawn. When stealing a tile to complete a triplet, you would call Pawn. You could pawn anyone, not just the player on your left. Kan. Kan is declaring a 4 of a kind, but still treating it as a triplet for hand completion. Whenever you call Kan, you draw a replacement tile from the dead wall, and an additional Dora Indicator is revealed. More on that soon. Khans can be called if you have all 4 copies already in your hand, you have 3 copies in your hand and someone discards the 4th. Finally, when you draw the last copy from a set you have already pawned. Calling Kan with all 4 copies in your hand is considered a closed Kan, which allows you to Riichi and get other Yaku. By the way, there is a call priority. Ron beats Pawn and Kan beats Chii. Moving on, at the start of each round, the dead wall is formed. The dead wall is 14 tiles that are out of the game, which means these tiles cannot be drawn, with the exception of Kan. If you are curious about how to set up a game of Riichi Mahjong in person, I have a separate video linked in the description. Now let's talk about Dora. Dora is just a bonus point tile if it's in your winning hand. Dora is not a Yaku. For example, if your winning hand is Toi Toi, all triplets, with a Dora tile included, you will multiply the points you score. The red 5s are also Dora. There's 1 in each suit. Dora Indicator. After the dead wall is formed, a tile from it is revealed. That tile is the Dora Indicator. The Dora Indicator indicates that one tile up from its sequence is the Dora for that round. If a 2 Manzu is revealed, then a 3 Manzu is the Dora. The suited and honor tiles have a sequential order for Dora and it loops. For example, if a 9 Pinzu is revealed, then the 1 Pinzu is the Dora. The sequential order for the winds is east, south, west, north, then east again. My favorite way to remember is eat soup with noodles. The order for the dragons is green, red, white, then green again. These are in alphabetical order. Game states. In this section of the video, I'll discuss about starting game states and conditions that are important to know, such as Riichi, Furiten, Exhaustive Draws, Abortive Draws. Riichi is not only a Yaku, but a game state as well. When a player reaches Tenpai with a closed hand, they can declare Riichi and place a 1000 point bet. Their hand cannot be modified. They can only discard the tile they draw until someone wins or the wall runs out of tiles. They can win by sumo when they draw their winning tile, or ron when someone else discards it. Moving on to Furiten, this is a game state when a player is in Tenpai, but cannot win by ron, due to the player discarding one of their tile weights earlier in the round. Let's say you are in Tenpai waiting to complete a 4-5 Pinzu set. Normally, you can win with either a 3 or a 6 Pinzu to complete your sequence. However, you discarded a 3 pin earlier, which means you are in Furiten and cannot win when someone discards a 3. Furiten also affects all weights in this example. You cannot call ron on the 6th pin. Tile weights are the tiles you are waiting on to complete sets. If you have a 6-7 pin tile shape, the 5 and 8 pin are your tile weights because they can complete your sequence. And finally, you can go into temporary Furiten. This happens when another player discards a tile you can't win off of, but it's part of your tile weights. It's temporary until your next draw. For example, you have a 7-8 Sozu, and the only Yaku you are going for is Tanyao, all simples. You need the 6 Sozu to win, but the 9 is also part of the tile weight because it technically can complete your set, but will invalidate Tanyao. Now your opponent discards a 9 Sozu, putting you in the state of Furiten until your next draw, because you should have called ron but didn't. Meaning, if the player across discards a 6 So, you can't call ron due to Furiten. Furiten means we cannot win by ron, but we can still sumo, so we want to think carefully about what Yaku we are going for to win. Next is Exhaustive Draws. This is when the final tile of the live wall has been discarded and no one wins. Whoever's in Tenpai reveals their hand.
Tenpai.
Those who are not Tenpai put their hands face down
No ten.
and called no 10. Players that were not Tenpai give points to those that were Tenpai. Then there's Abortive Draws. It just means the round ends in a draw. There are a few of these. If the first 4 discards are the same win tile, if 4 cons have been called from different players, if every player declares Riichi, and finally, if a player has 9 or more different terminal and honor tiles in their starting hand, they can choose to force an abortive draw or continue the round. Next, let's discuss round repeats and game extensions. Round repeats happen when the dealer wins. They increase their honba, bonus points they can score if they win as a dealer, and begin the next round as dealer again. Round repeats can continue until someone goes bankrupt or the dealer does not win a round. However, if the dealer is the final dealer of the game, round repeats can continue until dealer has the most points. In other words, repeating rounds as dealer helps score more points. Finally, another round repeat can happen if the dealer is Tenpai when the game goes into Exhaustive Draw, when the last tile has been drawn and no one wins. Next, a game extension happens when no player exceeds 30,000 points when the last round ends. The round win shifts and the game continues until someone scores over 30,000 points. So, we learned what Riichi Mahjong is, what the tiles are, Yakus, game flow, calls, game states, and game extensions. This video will serve as a good foundation and reference for you to come back to. If you have any questions or want to learn more advanced rules and strategies, please let me know down in the comments. You can also ask me live on Twitch over at twitch.tv/Kusalite. My name is Kusalite, and have fun jongin'!